Shedeur Sanders issues defiant statement as Browns explain Dillon Gabriel bench decision. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is sticking by Dillon Gabriel, but Shedeur Sanders' time could be approaching. Shedeur Sanders is almost certain to get a chance to prove he is the future of the Cleveland Browns franchise. Dillon Gabriel is in the hot seat ahead of a tough contest against the resurgent New England Patriots on Sunday. The Browns go into the contest 2-5 and will get a first-hand look at how quickly a young quarterback can change a franchise as Drake May looks to take his team to 6-2. Gabriel went 13 of 18 passing for 116 yards in a rout of the struggling Miami Dolphins, but has not impressed in his 3 NFL starts despite earning a first victory as a pro. Many are calling for Sanders, who went 2 rounds later than his rookie rival in April's NFL draft, to be thrown in, but Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot thinks he will have to be patient. They're not going to give up on him, Gabriel, too quickly, and that would probably open a can of worms for them if they start throwing Shedeur in there even in spot duty right now, so I'm not really feeling that or seeing it, she told Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But I will say this, Shedeur Sanders is making a ton of progress. He looks really good. I've been saying this over and over again, if you put Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel side by side or one after the other in a 7-on-7 red zone drill, I think that Shedeur would win that drill much of the time. Or if you put them up against each other in a pockets drill, where you're throwing the ball into pockets in the net, I think that Shedeur would win that a lot as well. But there are so many other things that you have to do. You have to be able to protect yourself, have to be able to read the defense, call the play, slide the protections, manage emotions and do all those things. He's coming up the learning curve very, very quickly and very well on all that. All reviews I'm hearing from inside the building are really, really good on Shedeur's progress right now. But I think they still want to give Dillon some time. Now he's got to make some points out there, he's got to produce and generate some touchdown passes. But for now I think the status quo will be maintained. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes all sat for at least a season before being named the full-time starter. But I think they still want to give Dillon some time. Now he's got to make some points out there, he's got to produce and generate some touchdown passes. But for now I think the status quo will be maintained. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes all sat for at least a season before being named the full-time starter. The difference being that all three were behind a seasoned vet with plenty of wisdom to offer. Sanders can afford to bide his time and taking every opportunity to learn the pro game so he is ready when his number is called. He has remained upbeat throughout the process and posed a powerful statement on social media Tuesday. The greatest lesson I've learned through it all is not to worry but to lean on and trust God in every situation, he wrote. Even when I don't know what to do, I've learned that God will always guide me. I live stress-free because I know that, no matter what, God has the final say over my life. I'm able to persevere through trials because I come from a family built on morals, values, and unshakable principles. Growing up, I had access to a lot, and maybe without my understanding shaped my worldview, but I've realized that peace, purpose, and faith can't be bought. They have to be built. True success is who you become while waiting on God's timing. God's pace protects what your purpose will one day require. When will Shedeur Sanders start for the Browns? Browns journalist Tony Rizzo claims that the plan is to play Sanders for at least the final 4 games of the season, barring a miracle. I need to see Shedeur when they are going to give him a chance, he said on ESPN Cleveland. And by that, I mean they have to tell him he's starting on Monday. It's not going to happen anytime soon, I get it. But you have the Patriots and then the bye week. I was told by 2 different sources yesterday at the stadium. One said Shedeur will start the last 4 games of the season, no matter what. Unless the Browns win every game through the Titans week, Shedeur will play the Bears, Bills, Steelers, and Bengals. They want to see what he's got. Another said he could be in play earlier than that. Shedeur Sanders issues defiant statement as Browns explain Dillon Gabriel bench decision. The Cleveland Browns facility in Berea had seen its share of controversy, quarterback battles, and quarterback heartbreaks over the years, but not like this. Not with this much heat, not with this much spotlight, and certainly not with 2 of the most talked about young quarterbacks in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Two rookies. Two different styles. One franchise desperate for stability at the most cursed position in football. And then the bombshell hit. On a brisk Monday morning, after a week of media speculation, head coach Kevin Stefanski walked into the press room flanked by GM Andrew Berry and quarterbacks coach Ken Dorsey. Their expressions told the story before a word was spoken. Dillon Gabriel, who had started the last 3 games, was heading to the bench. Shedeur Sanders was officially back in the QB1 conversation. But if anyone expected a quiet reshuffling, they clearly forgot who Shedeur Sanders was. They forgot the name, the brand, the family, the belief system built by Dillon, Coach Prime, Sanders. They forgot that Shedeur didn't just play football. He brought a movement with him. As the Browns attempted to calmly explain their reasoning behind the benching, Shedeur fired off a statement of his own that shook the NFL landscape. And he didn't whisper it. He declared it. The Browns' explanation: "This isn't a punishment." Stefanski began with the predictable coach speak, his voice steady, his words chosen with the precision of someone trying to defuse a bomb without cutting the wrong wire. "This decision is not a punishment for Dillon," he said. "We believe he has a bright future. But right now, we're looking for a spark, mobility, dynamic playmaking, and Shedeur gives us that opportunity." The message: Gabriel hadn't done anything wrong. But for a rookie QB, being benched isn't just a decision. It's a wound. Especially when it comes after 3 games of grinding tape, taking hits, and believing every snap was the start of a new era. Andrew Berry backed Stefanski with a more philosophical approach. "We drafted both quarterbacks because we believed in both. Competition is part of our DNA. Shedeur has shown tremendous growth, leadership, and command. We want to see where that takes us." Translation: the Browns saw something this week in Shedeur. Something they couldn't ignore. But the media wasn't having the safe, polished narrative. One reporter fired back. "So if Dillon wasn't playing poorly, what changed?" The room froze for a second. Ken Dorsey leaned into his mic. "Practice changed. Intensity changed. Someone walked in this week with something to prove." Everyone in the room knew who he meant. Shedeur had been building to this moment, waiting, preparing, and apparently dominating practice in a way the Browns hadn't seen from him yet. But even as the Browns attempted to paint the move as strategic, not emotional, not chaotic, the real fire was coming from somewhere else. Shedeur Sanders.